So why did Toyota get rid of their V8, their super reliable V8, in favor of a V6? In addition to that, we're going to discuss this video from TK's Garage really quick, just before we get into why I think Toyota truly got rid of that V8 and whether or not they're really going to bring it back. Let's jump into this really quick. So this is TK's Garage. Let's listen to what he has to say.
I literally got 6 emails from Toyota employees today saying that this was discussed in the last 24 hours, that they are considering bringing back a V8 engine for the Tundra.
I don't think there's any chance of this happening. I just don't. Let's get into why I think, number one, why Toyota is not getting rid of their V6 twin turbo, 2, why they're not going to bring back the V8, and what got them here in the first place, why all manufacturers are really going turbocharged, and it almost feels like they have to, and it's not why you think. It's not just the EPA and emissions. That does play a part in it, but that's not the only reason. So first up, obviously, is CAFE standards. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that because that's not what I want to talk about in this video, but yes, CAFE standards did have something to do with the reduction in weight of these vehicles and pretty much turbocharging everything. But that's not the whole story, and I know that everybody wants to blame the government for everything. So first up, I want to say I am not bashing TFL for doing this. I actually think TFL Ike Gauntlet reviews are fun to watch, and I don't have any problem with what they do in having a tough towing test and a verdict. So I just want to show you this kind of leads into why Toyota and Ram and all these manufacturers are chasing power with turbos. So they start out the video talking about the Tundra, and these are the numbers that they put up there. So it's 381 horsepower, 401 foot-pounds of torque, which is fine. You know, it's a reliable V8 that I would like to drive, but it's not going to compare to a twin-turbo V6. So they did the Tundra towing test up the Ike Gauntlet, gave a time of just over 8 minutes. Now we're going to get into that compared to the EcoBoost. Tundra to the EcoBoost in this video. Here's the EcoBoost, kind of the end and the verdict and their driving impressions as they're going up the pass.
I've got a lot of pedal to go, and we could race up this thing a lot faster.
I'm really surprised on just how low the RPM is, and we're staying at 60.
Yeah, that's one of the advantage of this engine. It's got the lowest torque range of the 3 we're playing with today. It's only it gets full torque at 2,500 RPMs, where the Chevy is 41, the Toyota is 3,600 RPM. So we're 1,100 RPM lower than the Toyota when our torque is wide, is full blast. So that torque holds you longer, just like a diesel, very close to a diesel performance out of this little rascal.
So you see what he said there. He said it's very much like a diesel. TFL is giving it props. They're not wrong. The EcoBoost, the 3.5 EcoBoost is going to outperform a V8 on the Ike Gauntlet at 10,000 feet. It's not going to be a real competition. They have a ton of pedal left. They're trying to give you an idea of what it's like to tow with a twin turbo versus a V8. And the twin turbo, sure, it might not be as reliable, but it's gonna, when it's working, it's gonna kick butt on a towing test, especially at high elevation, and they're kind of explaining why. Can't really fault TFL for doing that, but what does this do to the manufacturer? Toyota and other companies look at this and they're like, well, we're losing, in the influencer category. People are gonna see this and they're gonna say, I gotta have the fastest truck. I have to have the most powerful truck. I have to be able to tow and be able to haul butt going 75 miles an hour and pass people. Otherwise, I'm second.
Don't listen to these people, Ricky. You're a winner. If you ain't first, you're last.
A little bit faster.
All right, gentlemen, we have a new champion at 7.50.3, 750 basically. This is by far the fastest that we've gone up the Ike Gauntlet. And Kent, what is the average fuel economy?
11.3.
11, and even better fuel economy.
So there you go. I mean, they're not, again, TFL is not wrong in their evaluation of this. I mean, you drive a twin turbo EcoBoost. I had one of those engines, and they will haul butt up those passes with a huge trailer on the back. The downside is obviously reliability. You're never going to have the reliability in a twin turbo. I don't care how hard they try. So I've been thinking about this a lot, and I actually don't blame Toyota or Ram or any of these companies for following suit on what Ford started. And really, it was triggered by CAFE restrictions. That's part of it. Ford was just on that bleeding edge of building twin turbo V6s. So Ford started out with the EcoBoost, and as you saw with TFL and all these other tests Anytime anyone tested these trucks, whether it was a drag race or a race up the mountains with a massive trailer, what did they always show? The 500 foot-pound of torque EcoBoost was going to just blow everybody else with naturally aspirated V8s out of the water. And it was all performance-based, right? So this influence that everybody has, and the influence that had on sales numbers. Even though this has been sort of a disaster for Toyota at the beginning of this launch, they'll probably get it dialed in just like Ford did. Ford had problems with their EcoBoost as well. And what'll happen is everybody's just pushing that power limit. You can't chase power in a V8 and get good mileage. So what Ford did was they brought in the EcoBoost. They have the 3.5. They're pushing 500 foot-pounds of torque, and they're getting better fuel economy, 11 miles per gallon up the Ike Gauntlet test. The only way someone can match that is to reduce displacement and do the same thing, twin turbocharge an engine, or go diesel like GM has gone. But there's so many restrictions in the government space with diesel. It just takes them too long to get them approved. It costs too much. So diesels are really becoming more difficult for manufacturers to deal with. So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on why you think the V8 is dead. This is honestly why I think we're seeing all the V8s go away. It is chasing power. The only way they can chase that power and meet that power and maybe beat these other manufacturers is to do the same thing that they're doing. If you take a V8 and you supercharge it or you turbocharge that V8, it's going to be even more thirsty than the V6s, and then you're still going to have the reliability conundrum with that as well. It's going to make the V8 less reliable once you use forced induction. I can't really say that I blame Toyota or some of these other manufacturers. They're all just competing, and the buyers are ultimately deciding who wins. And Toyota, with that V8, everybody says they want them to go back to that 5.7 V8. If you look at sales numbers, the 5.7 V8 was not selling anywhere nearly as well the last 4 or 5 years of production as all of the twin turbo variants from Ford or turbocharged variants from anybody else. So can you really blame Toyota or Ram or any of these other companies for following suit? I can't really. I mean, it was kind of a combination of just this perfect storm of things. So let's just hope that the reliability comes up in these trucks and we start seeing these turbos be at least somewhat, as reliable as the old V8s. Even if they're within 70% as reliable, I think at this point people would accept that given the power trade-offs. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments.
All right, gentlemen, we have a new winner, the Ford F-150 EcoBoost. There's no doubt that this has plenty of power for towing, and certainly it sprinted up the Ike Gauntlet.
Are you saying I picked the right truck?
As always, thanks for watching. Till next time.